And if you saw the beginning of the show, my opening sequence there, you'd have seen Tough Cookie, not spelled I-E cookie, but cookie as in C-O-O-K-Y. And the news item from the Portugal News this morning that I'd like to share with you is that surprise news, I would say. And then when you think about it, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Portuguese cuisine, one of the most difficult to master in the world. Would you agree? Let me know in the chat, if you will. And that's a cataplana right there, isn't it? Oh, yes, a tricky cataplana. That doesn't look an especially difficult dish to put together, does it? But a new study has revealed the most challenging cuisines for tourists to learn to cook. A new study has revealed the most challenging cuisines for tourists to learn to cook, ranking Portuguese recipes second ahead of French and Indian dishes. Sacre bleu! I can hear French people. This is nonsense. What are you talking about? And Indian dishes as well. And I always think of, for example, yesterday we had the best meal we've ever had in a car showroom. So we were, hi Mike, good to see you here as well. We went out for a drive. Sounds like such an old-fashioned thing to do, doesn't it? It sounds like the 1970s. Went out for a drive, like a Sunday. But anyway, we like to do that. We spend a lot of time at home and a lot of time working at home. And it's nice to get out and about. And so getting out and about, look at that lovely array of PA speakers there. You can tell what I've been researching, can't you, on the screen? We had the best meal yesterday that we've ever had in a car showroom. Probably, I think it's the only meal we've had in a car showroom, but it was really very good. And very homely in a good British sense, not in an American sense, homey or homely. It was delicious. And this was in a car showroom. Portuguese people know how to cook very comforting and delicious food. But I wouldn't, until seeing this article, I wouldn't have put it down as one of the most difficult to master in the world. But maybe we shouldn't let the simplicity fool us or lead us into a false sense of security. The research here, conducted by travel experts CV Villas, analysed the 10 most popular dishes. Thank you, Portugal News, for this. From 50 global cuisines. Well, that's a great job to have, isn't it? I could have helped you, CV Villas, analysing the 10 most popular dishes from 50 global cuisines. I've got a feeling they probably didn't eat all 500 dishes. They just had a look at how difficult it might be to cook and rank the recipe data based on difficulty, preparation time, and the number of ingredients. And what a great PR wheeze this has turned out to be for CV Villas. You're employing a good company here, folks. These metrics were indexed to create the confusing cuisine score. The CCS, hashtag CCS this morning, out of 100, establishing the cuisines posing the most problems for optimistic holidaymakers. I see. So you go traveling and then you try and cook what are the top dishes. I mean, you're on holiday. Why would you do that to yourself? Don't you go on holiday to eat the food at restaurants rather than try and cook it yourself? I mean, yeah, okay. Posing the most problems for optimistic holidaymakers, in which Portugal scored 60.50. The top 5 most challenging cuisines, they say, are number 1, China, at number 5, Vietnam, 4, India, 3, Greece, and at number 2, Portugal. Portugal emerged as a close contender for the top spot, ranking second globally with intricate pastries and seafood dishes. I don't think cooking seafood is complicated or difficult. It's about the right ingredients, isn't it? But, I guess try my I was going to say my linguine, seafood linguine. That's not Portuguese, is it? So, and thinking about it, I've never cooked a cataplana at home. I do use a lot of Portuguese seafood and like cooking fish, but maybe not in a truly Portuguese style. So, yes, maybe this is right then. What's I think has changed my mind on this, or convinced me that there may be some truth in it, is that the study found that the pastel de nata study, a bit like my sunshine study, isn't it? Which I must top up, although there's not much to say. There was, as I foretold yesterday, an outbreak of sunshine yesterday amid the rain, and we got soaked at one point. Anyway, the study found that the pastel de nata, Portugal's iconic custard tart, is one of the most difficult dishes to recreate. There you go, requiring 14 ingredients. Can you imagine? The humble pastel de nata, it's simple, isn't it? It seems simple, but however, it requires 14 ingredients and over 145 minutes of preparation. And that's why We should leave them to it and just go and eat them in the bakeries and not try this at home. This ranking reflects a broader trend of European cuisines dominating the list of the most challenging to master. Greece placed third. I've had a holiday in Greece, and I did, I bought tomatoes and feta cheese and made a salad at home. That didn't seem especially difficult. However, I think they're not talking about that basic stuff, are they? So yeah, France, Spain, they're all in there. Reinforcing the Mediterranean's reputation for sophisticated cooking methods. Again, I don't think it's sophisticated. I'm not saying it's not good, but I wouldn't have it down as. And I don't like complex cookery. I like simple cookery. I don't like things where you have to get up at 6 in the morning and I don't know, roll out your phyllo and then stick it in the fridge and make sure you've got a chilled marble slab. And meanwhile, you're caramelizing your cherry tomatoes or whatever. Ben Briggs, head of marketing. The climax comment from Ben Briggs, who I suspect commissioned this research, commented that food is central to the holiday experience, which is why we conducted this research to highlight the diversity and complexity of cuisines worldwide. For European travelers, it's particularly fascinating to see how our neighbors in Portugal, Greece, and France, I think it's a Spanish company, have shaped culinary traditions that are equal parts inspiring and challenging to replicate. So there you go. Who knew? We have Portugal. In this particular survey, one of the most difficult to master in the world. That's Portuguese cuisine. What do you make of that? Let me know. Hugh, would you? I'm sure Hugh's got a view on that. Is Portuguese cuisine one of the most difficult to master in the world? Think about Portuguese cuisine. It is best to just go out and eat it, isn't it? Why make it? Why try and recreate it at home? Oh, thanks for the love, Gabby. See you soon at the weekend. The party's getting ever closer, everybody. Bon dia, Gumpers. If Feliz Carta, how is it Wednesday already? It's a blooming good question, that is. A very wet trip to Castelo de Almorol. That's the castle. That's the island in the stream, isn't it? Let's have a little snatch of that, shall we? 13 seconds of a castle in the rain. It's like being on a school trip. Yes, it is. This will imagine yourself. You've got your packed lunch in your backpack and you've got a cagoule on and you're a bit soggy. Let's have a look. Thank you for thinking of us with these, Coach. 913-590-303 is where to send them. And this is in my Reese folder, as it turns out. We've got video from Paul on some of his renovations in central Portugal. And we like the videos, don't we? We like to see what he's been up to in the houses. So here you go. We are in the... did you actually... on this matter of Almorol Castle, did you wade across to it? Did you get a boat? Did you wait for low tide? What did you do, Coach? Looks like blooming snow there. Let me just take your comment off and roll that again. Roll that VT once more. And yeah, it looks like snow coming down there. Maybe just the way the camera's caught it. There's a little sign there, isn't there? Does a sign say, "Please don't wade out to the castle"? What's the standard way of getting there? And can you imagine that day when the general said, "Look, okay, have a drink by the river, have a wash, lads. We're going to be building a castle here this afternoon," and that's what they came up with. Where is that again? Almorol. There you go. There's the spelling. João Ernesto. I want to go there at some point. Castelo de Almorol. And how was Constancia? Did you go for a little swim in the river there yesterday? And Hugh, with a good morning from Hugh Forestier Walker and Jane Forestier Walker. Very formal this morning, Hugh. Catherine also here. See you at the weekend, I hope too. Excellent. Right, okay. So talking of the weekend, should we have a look and see what the weather's going to be like for our gathering? No, hold on. We finished with you, Portuguese cuisine for the time being. No, nobody's answering that question. Is Portuguese cuisine some of the most difficult to cook? Anyway, let's go look at the weather, particularly for Sunday morning. Now, how it's looking for the weekend. The party will be on the Saturday night, and things are coming together to make that happen. And we have a Zoom. So, okay, let me just rewind. I think some people will be here from Friday in town, so maybe there'll be drinky poos on Friday night. then there's going to be more drinky poos on Saturday because it's the Caldas de Reina beer festival. Looking forward to going along to that. And I think the Prohibition Bar and Richard Allen, who mentioned us yesterday, folks. Hey, Henry Jeffries is in the country as well from Pedrogan. Oh, you say it, Henry. Pedrogo Paquino. Is that the right spelling? I think you've thrown me there with your Pedregal right there. But Pedrogo Paquino is where Henry is this morning. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you soon as well, Henry. Good morning, Portugal. I was interviewed for a home in the sun, a place in the sun, getting away to the sun, something about the sun and getting away in Europe. We were interviewed. Colin and I popped into the Prohibition Bar last year and we were interviewed for a TV show. And I believe it aired yesterday. I got a message from Richard Allen, or there was a post which had us linked. What's it called when you link someone into your post? Anyway, we were CC'd on that. Pedrogan. There you go. Yeah, with an O in the middle there. Thank you. No, it just threw me. I mean, that is not an easy word. And you've got the little till on the A, I believe, as well. There's all sorts going on in there. Lots to go wrong. Lots of variables in Pedrogan. Yeah, we were featured. We were mentioned, or I was interviewed. And then I got a message from John Rooney last night. You were blurred. You were blurred. So I haven't seen it. I don't know what it looks like, but it's nice to have a little mention of Good Morning Portugal show or whatever it was we said on that TV show that aired on Channel 4 yesterday afternoon at around 4 o'clock, I think. It would have been dangerous to try and wade across, and the little boat that takes you across wasn't running. Probably only runs at high season. The cafe was a bit quiet. Pedrogan, thank you very much. And James is in Ericeira shaking his head saying, Carl, please. Stop saying it, especially like that. Pedrogan. And we'll ask Paul Reese. We'll get the skinny on that when he arrives. Portuguese looks like Welsh cuisine. Grab whatever is in the larder, shove it in the nearest pan, cook somehow, chuck it on a plate and give it a fancy name. And hey, presto, a posh meal. I think that's not a million miles off there. And all about, maybe the difference between the Welsh cuisine and the Portuguese is the availability of seafood. I don't know. I mean, I guess there must be some. What is it? 10B where you can get lovely crab and so. Pedrogan. Okay, thanks. Thank you there, James. Yeah, I think there's some similarity that you're referring to there, Jackie. But it's interesting, isn't it, to think of it as a difficult cuisine to cook, when so much of it is about the fresh ingredients and tradition and combinations of things rather than very complex cooking processes, which I would definitely associate more with the French. Anyway, where was I? I was drinking on Friday night. I was drinking on Saturday at the Caldas de Reina Beer Festival. I drove past the Expo West Centre where it will be in Caldas de Reina on Saturday. And then we need to get back and set up for the party. That's the high point, the apex of the weekend. Which will be the party. Looking forward to seeing the gathering of folks on Saturday evening. People coming from all over, from Madeira, from UK, from all over Portugal to be there. It's going to be lovely. And then on Sunday morning, just to shake off any cobwebs and dust, we're having a Zumba. I wonder if Paul Reese is joining us behind the scenes. I wonder if he's a Zumba advocate. I can't see him in pink or orange lycra, but that could all change on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, where you're invited to do so. There is talk of me and my Pride mankini, but I'm not sure that's called for or appropriate for that matter, or even civilized, you might say. So let's see what the weather will be like for our 11 o'clock Zumba session, led by the wonderful Vina, who's new to San Martino de Porto and is treating us to some Zumba action on the Sunday morning at 11. So get yourself down there. Don't forget, if you are coming to join us at the weekend, then bring orange and pink lycra, I think is her invitation. A little bit of sunshine maybe next Monday in Lisbon. We're pinpointing outbreaks of sunshine. I really want to see more sun, honestly. That's what I moved here for, in case you hadn't already noticed my cries for sunshine. Faro, Friday, there will be some sun, as we said yesterday, but also Monday is sunny. The sun is coming back. He's got his hat on. Beja next Monday, sunny. Castelo Branco, the sun is returning, everybody, to Portugal. Castelo Branco, Évora, Leiria, Porto Alegre, Santarém. Sunny day forecast for Monday. However, Sunday, let's have a look for Leiria. Zumba session on the green outside Palmeira. Okay, it's going to be cloudy, which might be good because many of us may break into an unseemly sweat or perspiration or a glow, depending on how you wish to position and place that. So a bit of cloud might be a blessing at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So there you go. There's your weather. And I want to remind you very quickly, if I may, of a Bom Dia Daily deal, which is 10% off Expats Portugal membership. And if you're thinking to yourself, why would I want to join Expats Portugal? I'm already here in Portugal. Well, Expats Portugal are doing a whole lot more to help you, having landed here in Portugal, as well as the sterling work that's done with Expats Portugal and the Dream Team in getting over to the country in the first place. But if I share with you the itinerary for the next few weeks of webinars, accent marks matter. Okay. All right. Pedrogal. I think so. There is an accent on Pedrogal. Okay, so a little controversy about the spelling and pronunciation. Paul is gesticulating behind the scenes. We'll get the absolute lowdown. We'll get the Debrett's pronunciation of Pedrogal. As the King of England might say it in a little while. Okay, that's the first thing we will address on his arrival, as well as rolling some VTs. Captured some great video footage of the projects that he's working on at the moment. Right, where were we? Expats Portugal. Very quickly then, if I may, in the remaining minute of the Bom Dia Daily. This Thursday, essential tips for buying and driving a car in Portugal. You see, you might have landed and you might need that. Some help on buying a car. Followed by the town hall afterwards, which is always great fun to host. Then look, uncovering Portugal's past. Next Thursday, the story of Philippa of Lancaster. She was the English bride who came to João I and gave him the illustrious generation, I believe. I was writing about this for the Resident this week. And she was the mother of Henry the Navigator and Edward the Philosopher. I think he was the 11th king of Portugal. So that'll be a great evening, uncovering more of Portugal's history with Philomena there. And it's with author Isabel Stilwell. Wow, who sounds like she might be a relative of the Philippa of Lancaster, doesn't she? Isabel Stilwell. There's a bit of Portuguese there and a bit of British, I think, Isabel Stilwell. Paul probably knows Isabel Stilwell. We should find out about that in just a moment as well. Portuguese citizenship, that's on February the 27th. You see, that's for you if you're already here and looking into the distance. Hank and Connie's a Saturday social. That happens, I believe that's the first Saturday of every month. Philomena back with Portuguese language and culture. And look, a good one coming up on March the 13th. This segues nicely into Paul Rees and a bit of rural property action in just a moment. Don't take this the wrong way, Paul, but humidity, mold, ventilation, and thermal comfort issues under the spotlight on March the 13th. All of these webinars are available to you as an Expats Portugal member. And if you quote GMP on checkout, you'll get a 10% discount on their membership packages. Did I not put those on the screen? How silly of me. There you are. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will put the link to the calendar so you can see those for yourself into the chat now. And give a big round of applause to my friend and yours, Paul Rees in Central Portugal. Let's bring him on.
Good morning.
Tudo bem?
What a fantastic crowd. Love the applause.